Hello, my astrology friends. This is Lada from AstroLada.com and the amazing Vedic astrologer Himanshu, our teacher of Vedic astrology, is back. I asked him to talk today about whether a person relocation, whether they can live abroad or no, if it's part of their chart. And I told him, make it simple. And he has an incredible course that he's leading, Foundations of Vedic Astrology. If you'd like to join the course, it's going to be about 30 hours, and it's going to cover the roots of Vedic astrology, which is signs, planets, and houses. So this will give you a really beautiful foundation. But you'll see, even if you know astrology, and I personally use a lot, most of my techniques are Vedic techniques with tropical zodiac, with the Western zodiac like Himanshu. But if you use sidereal, you can use that one with the same techniques. And you'll see, even if you know astrology, I absolutely love every time Himanshu teaches me something new, because I don't know his knowledge, and his knowledge is exceptional, as you'll see. So Himanshu, you have the word. If anyone wants to join this 30-hour course, it's only $127. And after that, you can carry on studying with Himanshu, or I'm sure you'll be addicted like I am right now to his knowledge.
Thanks, Lada, for such a warm welcome with lots of my praise. That is a humbleness of you. You praise your juniors. So yeah, actually we are running a bigger course. So I just fragmented that particular course into some small batches, so that people can know a little bit about Vedic astrology before joining the bigger batch, which is a complete course on predictive astrology. Okay. So this will be the foundational one or the roots one. Okay, starting because every area, every part of the world have different kind of astrology. So I just willing that people should know about Vedic astrology as well. So this is a course, and one thing I'm very sure that they will be learning a lot of new things and things from the roots.
Absolutely. It's probably one of the most ancient, if not the most ancient
Yes.
astrology system. It just gives more tools into your bag. I just love mixing,
Yes.
even though you're not supposed to. But ever since last video, when you told me how to see whether someone will be self-employed or they would work for someone with this part, whether it's planets are above or from the ninth till the from the ninth till
7 to 12.
7 to 12 or 10th to 3rd.
Yeah.
I've been using it with everyone. Everyone was, this is amazing. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Such a simple and correct method. And I can't wait to see, how do you define if someone is meant to live abroad?
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, living in abroad or traveling in abroad simply means somebody gonna leave their home. And when we talk about leaving their home, there can be many reasons to it. Either somebody is leaving by happiness or somebody is forced to leave the home. And if we talk about the ancient times, what used to happen in ancient times, people used to leave home with punishment. People used to get punishment and they have to leave their country. They have to leave their city and go, and even you know what, I we talk about, if I'm not mistaken, and if we talk about ancient Australia, that was a prison place. So people used who were like very high level of criminals, they used to be kept in Australia so that they should not run anywhere and they are keeping separate. Okay, because that is totally in the sea. So like those sort of things. And even in India, many almost this was the ancient practice to have a separate kind of jail for the higher level of criminals, okay, gangsters and high level of criminals to keep them separate. So that was a kind of people. And most of the time, when somebody was a misfit for the family or the city, they used to they used to get a punishment of exile or just to leave the city like
That's
that.
why
So
exile, yeah, banishment here.
yeah,
That was the biggest thing, to be banished from your society, never to see them again. But nowadays,
yes,
it's become so common that people do
yeah.
it on their own.
And also there's one more thing. If somebody used to go abroad or in foreign land, the traveling was not so easy. Today you just need to take a flight and within 20 hours you can reach to any area of the world. But in earlier times, it used to take months, and some people used to go on horses, camels, things like that. Okay.
In that case, would those ancient techniques still work to show us?
So actually, you know what? That is what I have created this slide today. The way I created this slide. So we will be walking on the ancient technique.
Sorry? Who will be?
We will be talking about the ancient technique.
Yeah.
Everything which we will be talking from the classics. But we will be clubbing the stuff with the modern stuff, like whether the stay will be happy or not, what will be the quality of the stay. And we will be discussing some examples as well.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the stuff.
Oh, I'm
Let me share my.
excited when Himanshu teaches. I zip my mouth and just get so excited after that. I need to calm down. Oh,
People like you asking question more than anything. Okay. So first of all, let's pray to Lord Ganpati to bless us with the good knowledge, and pray to the gurus and mentors by which we are carrying this knowledge. These are my two gurus, Pandit Vijendra Shastri, my Indian teacher, and Shri Answeelam, from whom I learned many complex and deep techniques. So before we get into this, first of all, we need, like we discussed, that we have to check whether somebody gonna leave their land or not. And if somebody gonna leave their land, in what direction they will. Why the direction is needed in ancient times when people used to leave their land? Well, you know what? Sometimes it also happens. The other city people used to invade the city, kidnap somebody, and just leave. So this technique was also used to determine in which direction the person will be.
you're gonna in
What?
which direction you're gonna be kidnapped?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fun.
For that as well, we just take the same technique. Okay. Because, okay, somebody is supposed to leave their home or kidnap from the home, and which direction he will be going away. Because every land has a karma. So even if we are being kidnapped, the kidnapper will feed us something. So that particular food is belong to that land. If we have the karma to have the food of that particular land, then only we can go to that land. Otherwise, we cannot.
Oh wow, even the food is honestly, I wouldn't mind being kidnapped to India because I can eat just Indian food all the time.
Yes. So, uh, and then, so these are the planets which represents directions, first of all. And with the nature of the planets only, we will get to know that what kind of travel we will be having. Let's first say, if our fourth house or 10th house is associated with sun, then the east is the direction where we should travel.
Oh my God, that's so true. My husband is son in the 10th house and I moved him to Eastern Europe.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay. Moon represents north of northwest. Like suppose this is north and this will be the northwest area, and this particular part will be the northwest part. And when we talk about the north, then it becomes Mercury. Similarly, Mars represents the southern direction, going towards the south. Like I said, these planet also indicates what kind of travel we will be having. So if the moon is connected, then we will be having frequent travel. small travels and frequent travel. The stay will not be a longer one, but we will have frequent travel. If we talk about Mars, it will be medium stay, like somewhere between the longer one and the shorter. And mostly the travel caused by Mars is kind of difficult one because many times person feels difficulties in whatever the purpose they want to have in the foreign land. And if Mercury is connected, then business and professional related travel. Jupiter indicates northeast direction and education and spiritual purpose. We can also extend this particular rule of general travel. Like you want to spend some vacation and you are looking that where you should go for vacation and you should have a very harmonious vacation. We can use this technique. If the period and sub-period belongs to any of these planets, you can travel in that particular direction and you will be having happy vacation.
We're talking Dasha here. If you're running
Dashas here.
Jupiter Mars, do you
Yeah.
use the direction, or do you something? Can I ask you something? Because there is the direction plus purpose. Can sometimes just the purpose show, but the direction is wrong, but sometimes the direction shows, but the purpose is not exactly.
We can use we can pick any order. Like suppose I want to spend a month somewhere, and if I'm suppose running in the dasha of Mars, so I will prefer going towards the south direction. But we just need to think about one particular thing, that that particular planet should be a positive planet in our horoscope. Like that planet should not be a troublemaker.
Yeah. So if it's a
Remember
good
all,
Mars, if it's exalted Mars, for example, that without harsh influences, okay.
yeah, you should travel in that direction. And plus, you know what? Sometimes we are not expecting something. I just want to go on vacation and somebody I met someone and it can initiate a relationship. It can initiate some business. It can initiate anything, or it can also initiate going to a imprisonment, depending on what kind of planet we are choosing, what kind of direction we are choosing. Venus represents southeast direction, harmony. The purpose can be harmony, pleasure, or also honeymoon. That is represented by Venus. Somebody is running newly married and they are running by the Venus Dasha. Definitely pick the southeast direction. If the Venus is very well placed, and go for the honeymoon in the southeast direction.
Honeymoon.
The best honeymoon you can have in your life. Just one time person can only have honeymoon once a time. It will not be a problematic honeymoon. Okay. Sun represents west and represents career and work related. Coming back on your question, Lada, it's not necessary that okay, if somebody is going by the Saturn Dasha or period, they can travel for career and work related, but may not be the same direction.
As west. Okay.
Okay, because if we want to work with the career and uh, business, we have to look from the 10th house. So if Saturn has to be connected to the 10th house to go in the west direction for career and work related purpose.
Okay.
Like that. We will study the examples and we will have a more insight to it. And Rahu and Ketu, the two foreign ones, they always, whenever people come under their dasha influence, they are supposed to have travel. Right now, I am in the sub period of Rahu and I'm traveling all the time. After every few days, I'm traveling. And if I'm not having a purpose, then also I travel. Just pack my bags, and after packing the bag, I think where I should travel. I just cast a horary chart, and whatever the direction represented by the horary chart, I travel in that direction.
Wow.
So we can, because you know what? According to my horoscope, I should travel. I should keep moving. I should not stay in my birthland for a long period. So I just go out in and out so that the connection with the birthland breaks and I can have a fresh start again when I come back.
Ah. So if someone doesn't actually want to live away from their family and birth land, they can just, but they have indications that they will be leaving or living abroad, they should just travel more.
Yes. Like, you know what? I have in my ascendant lord in the 12th house and many other combination which indicates that I should be living away from my homeland.
Yeah.
My mentor always asked me that you should leave your homeland if you want to succeed. But my situations, family situation doesn't allow me. I
Yeah.
have to live with my family. And so what to do? So I do travel all the time and far, far places as far as I can. I used to go to the end point of the India in that particular direction. If I have to travel east, I go in the very end of the east direction of India.
Mm-hmm. Oh, adventurous life.
Enjoyable life. So Rahu, there's one difference between Rahu and Ketu. This gives very uncertain travel. Like I mentioned, I'm in the Rahu period, so I don't have any purpose and plan. I just make it very uncertain, fulfilling the need of Rahu. With the Ketu, what happens? It's a strong force to cut the roots.
Mm.
Meaning, in the time, in the dasha of Ketu, you are forced to disconnect from your loved ones.
Mm. What if you have Ketu in the fourth house?
Ketu in the fourth house depends on what kind of sign it is. And if it is having any relationship with the fourth lord, definitely one has to leave the house.
Oh, my baby boy. He'll be gone. Well, he has South Node in the fourth, but we constantly keep moving from his birthplace. So maybe that's working already. It's showing
Yes.
cutting connection
And
with his birth land and
yes.
then with his other birth land.
Yeah, actually, one more thing. People mix two things, birthland and the place when their upbringing is done. So sometimes it happens, like suppose a female is pregnant and she is traveling because of her work or anything, and suddenly she delivers a baby. Let's say somebody came to India from USA and she delivers a baby. So the birthland for the baby will be India, but that baby is never coming back to India. So what gonna be
Of
considered?
immigrants. Say if
Yes,
someone was born here, they lived 1, 2 years with their parents, but then their parents emigrate and stay to live, say, in Australia or something. It's
yeah,
again what is considered your real home is where you had your upbringing, yes?
yes.
And what
So
about someone who doesn't have if their parents are traveling like us? What then? What is that then?
basically, like I didn't get your question again, please.
Well, like, because I'm trying to figure out what is the upbringing place of my children, because they both have South Node, one with the moon, one with the fourth house cusp. But we're like 2 years in America, 2 years in Bulgaria, 2 years in America, 2 years. Like, they don't have one place of upbringing.
Check their second house because the traveling is happening because of whom?
The
They
family.
are not moving alone. The whole family is moving.
And the
Not
second
even the
house
mother
is.
is moving, not even on the father is moving. Both of them are moving. So the whole family is moving.
So they both
Okay.
have Saturn in the second house.
So there is a dictum I have written in this slide. So Saturn in the second house indicates the person will be going in and out from the homeland or birthland.
Really? Because I was wondering, I said, we're not poor. They get the best of everything. Saturn in the second, the lineage is not okay. It's not very Saturnian, but it can mean they'll be in and out because Saturn is this disconnect.
Disconnect. You
Ah,
know, you have known about Lord Rama. Lord Rama. Okay, we worship Lord Rama in India and we discuss their horoscope. So he was exiled for 14 years from his kingdom. He was supposed to be a king in the morning, but then stepmother asked his father that she want his son to be the king of the kingdom.
Uh-huh.
And the king agreed. Then on the second oath, she asked that Ram should be out of the kingdom because until and unless Ram is in the kingdom, my son will not accept the kingdom because he is too much attached to Lord Rama. His younger brother was too much attached to Lord Rama.
So
So
she
he was,
exiles Lord
yeah,
Rama.
14 years. So the Lord Rama has to go in the exile for 14 years and he has Saturn exalted in the fourth house.
Ah, wow, this is awesome.
And
Hey,
who
that's
gave
something totally new.
the exile?
The parent.
Mother.
Yeah.
Fourth house is represented by mother.
Oh, because Saturn is the ruler of the fourth in Lord Rama's.
No, no. In general, the fourth house represents mother.
Okay, but Saturn, his Saturn is in the second house. You said.
Fourth house.
Ah,
Fourth
fourth
house.
house. Okay.
Cancer rising. Saturn, exalted Saturn in the fourth house.
But then why did you say the second house has Saturn as well? Because it's also house of family.
Sorry, I might have mistaken. I meant exalted Saturn. So Saturn in the fourth house. I was just explaining the second house and the fourth house thing. So whenever things happen in the second house, that is in and out. Fourth house is something which is very harsh. Fourth house thing is very difficult. But like in the case of your children, things is not difficult. They are actually having good time in both of the places.
But no, they have Saturn, both of them, Saturn in the
Yeah.
second house, not in the fourth.
Yes. I
Okay.
understand. I was just giving two examples.
Yeah. In and
Okay.
out. Second house is in and out?
Yes.
Why? I thought it was a very stable house.
Uh, Saturn makes it in and out.
Ah, okay. Sorry.
So that was the thing.
Yeah.
If second house is having good combination, they will enjoy the things, but in and out thing.
Yeah.
Where in the case of fourth house, it will definitely cut the roots. Like
Like
Lord
Lord
Rama,
Rama. Okay.
exile. And your children are not in exile. They are with their family enjoying
Uh-huh.
the blessings like that. So similarly, Ketu is also responsible of cutting the roots, just like Saturn. The another thing, any planet gives travel, they must make their connection with the houses who give travel. And what are the house they give travel? One is third house, another is sixth house, 12th house, and eighth house.
Eighth house.
Yes.
Why?
Eighth transformation.
In Western astrology, we look at the ninth house only for travel.
Okay. So ninth house is a definite thing. These three houses indicates the lord of these houses indicate a definite stuff. And ninth house and seventh house both, they give some good purpose. Whenever seventh and ninth are coming in the picture, of course, ninth house is there somebody very solid to give traveling. Whenever ninth house make a relationship with the 12th house, people don't suffer. They simply means their fortune is in the foreign land. But these houses can give suffering.
Can give.
So I was coming on that particular part. So
Oh,
these are,
okay. Yeah.
okay, these houses are the houses of travel. Okay, for sure thing. But if we want to talk about the positive one, ninth and seventh,
So
that
if,
gives
oh,
positive.
so if you travel for studies, for
Yes,
you get married, or you want to look at your fortune is
yes,
career in a different place, it's seventh
different place.
time. Okay, seventh
So
and
what happens, these four houses has the alone ability to give us foreign settlement. Ninth house doesn't have the alone ability. It has to get conjoined. Alone ninth house can never do that. Suppose you have ninth lord in the ninth house, that will not promise foreign settlement. But these houses, these planets and their lord can make that combination to happen alone.
So what are we looking at those houses to see if there are planets there or if
Both,
what both?
because the connection need to be done. Suppose 12th lord in fourth. So that is a combination we are looking. That can give separation from the fourth house. Fourth house is the motherland.
Motherland. The land of upbringing, like you explained.
Upbringing. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Or sixth house ruler in the fourth, the same?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
eighth house ruler in the fourth?
Fourth. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And what about if the fourth house ruler is in
Same.
the third?
So
Or
fourth house ruler in the third, that also indicates foreign traveling. So now here's the thing. Third house represents not for a longer period. And if the same ninth house comes into the picture, that will promise the longer period and longer distance. Ninth house promise longer distance. Third house doesn't promise longer distance. And you know what happens? If sixth lord in the fourth house, that can also indicate person is being fostered by somebody who is living far from their land.
it's being what?
Foster, like adopted by somebody.
Oh. Huh.
If other combination relates of sun and moon, okay, and then this combination is happening, that is a combination of adopted children.
Adopted children.
Or somebody is having very good connection with their stepmother.
Oh, sixth house is a stepmother?
Foster siblings. Foster, when we see adoption, that is seen from the combination of sixth house.
Really? Why sixth? Because it's like,
So, okay.
sorry.
So what?
I just want to know the logic behind everything.
Yeah. Okay. So what happens with the sixth house? Sixth house is the third from the fourth house.
Oh, the sister of the mother, in a sense.
Yes.
But
Very
people
simple.
don't now go to live with the sister of the mother, but
Yeah.
it's the same word.
Yeah. In the ancient times, sometimes it used to happen if by some issues, mother pass away. And if she has a younger sister, people used to marry to the younger sister so that children can have good bonding with their same DNA, because their sister of mother is also having the same DNA of mother, and the connection will be built easy.
And even though now we don't do that, we still look from the sixth house for step parent, stepmother.
Yes.
Okay, very interesting. Is that why they always show the step parent like evil, which is not true, but the evil.
Most of the time, the connection is poor. Most of the time, the connection is poor. We can see by the quality of the combination who is at the fault. Either children is at the fault or parents are at the fault. Okay.
That's why it's so hard to have stepchildren or step parents, because
Yes.
house connection there.
Yes. Struggle. 6,000 is simply mean challenges.
Yes.
Okay.
Struggle, yeah.
So another thing, Rahu is somebody who signifies foreign element. Okay.
Yeah.
And out of the planets, Rahu is the only and solemnly alone is capable to make somebody leave their homeland. In the period or sub-period of Rahu, people must do little traveling. They must do.
Oof. Raku is 20 years. That's a lot of
18
travel.
years, sorry. 18 years.
18.
18 years. Little traveling. After a month or two, just go to the neighboring city for a day or 3 months, like that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you know what, Rahu will create a purpose, and if Rahu creates a purpose, that will be a challenging purpose.
So it's a great remedy.
Yes.
So where are we looking this Raku? If Raku is in the fourth house, If Rahu is in the seventh house, what are we trying to
First
connect
house,
to the
second house, fourth house, ninth house, and 12th house. These five houses, somebody also sixth house. These six houses, somebody have Rahu in these six houses. And whenever they enter into the period or sub-period of Rahu, they should do mini travel.
And Rahu, just looking at the charts, no dashes, no predictive. Where should Rahu be to show that a person will be definitely living abroad? Which houses? The fourth?
First house, fourth house, 12th house.
Okay, so if you have the North Node in the first, fourth, or 12th house, there's a strong indication. What if Rahu is with the moon or with the ruler of the fourth?
So
or any of those planets,
we have a horoscope, I guess, here in the slide. So whenever Rahu gets together with the fourth lord or the moon, sometime it happens, person is not feeling satisfied in their homeland. Also, not just homeland. Many times it happens, people don't get satisfied. People are satisfied in their homeland, but they are not being satisfied or happy within the premises of the home. Okay, like that. And specifically, the people who have Rahu in the fourth house or Rahu with the moon, they should not work from home most of the time.
They should
Unless
work what?
they should not be working from home. They should be working in the office.
To cut
And
the
if
connection from time to time.
yes, and one more thing, even if they're working from the home, they should not um like they should be dealing with the foreign element, like foreign clients, foreign offices, like that.
With foreigners. So to have something with foreign countries or business or okay.
Yeah. And on the other hand, Saturn has the ability, whenever Saturn is giving the foreign most of the time, you know what happens, person is very much connected to the family. But because of the Saturn, they leave their homeland, they leave their city, and along with that, they actually cut with their family. It happens sometimes they simply leave their homeland and now they are not having any connection with the family. That is because of just these two planets, Ketu and Saturn.
Oh, so it's just Ketu and Saturn can totally disconnect you from your family.
Yes.
If they're in the fourth, if they're where else?
Making the connections. Okay, we will study that.
Okay. Okay. So I'm rushing ahead. Okay.
And we discussed that. Also, one more thing, usually I don't study uh, outer planets, but Uranus is something which also gives traveling or change of the position with the blink. Very uncertain, very uncertain. So whenever Uranus is giving any kind of transformation or relocation, that will be a very sudden process.
Very sudden.
Yes, very uncertain, very sudden, and like a quick thing, like with a blink. Like simply one fine day you receive an offer letter of a company and they are calling you in the different line. Like that. Okay, so
I
that
agree
is
with that. I've seen it happening in
with
Saturn.
you.
Yes, Uranus is conjunct opposite my fourth house cusp, so fully aspecting the fourth house. And every time I have a Uranus transit, I relocate to a new continent, suddenly.
Yes. And Jupiter, most of the time, whenever Jupiter is giving you relocation, that is a positive one. Okay, whenever Jupiter gives, that is positive one, because you know what? Jupiter is a lot of ninth house and 12th house. So 12th house is of course the house of losses, but if you notice, this is the house of dharma and this is the house of moksha. Moksha means deep spiritual enlightenment. So that is why when you say ninth stuff, I simply said that whenever ninth will be giving the relocation, most of the time that will be a positive.
Positive relocation.
Okay. Fine. And now we have some, instead of making things very complicated, this time I simply written some plain dictums, which will be playing just like it, as it is. Okay. If that is happening, they will be given the travel.
Okay.
So combinations of foreign settlement, or you can say the yogas, combination that indicate travel. So fourth house is taken as the natural residence of a person. We discussed that. And whenever fourth house or fourth lord is under affliction, the person will not stay at his natural residence. So I didn't written birthplace here. I say natural residence because sometimes, like we discussed, the upbringing of a person may be at particular place and birth at particular place. So you are not very much connected to birthplace, but you spent your whole entire upbringing of 20 years at a particular place. So that makes a difference.
So what would be an affliction? Who causes affliction?
So Saturn will cause the affliction. Rahu will cause the affliction. Malefic Mars cause the affliction. Ketu cause the affliction.
Hmm.
Okay. So, and I'm putting one travel. When the Lord of 7th, 9th, 12th are placed in their own house, they will be, I'm saying own houses, they will be giving travel. This can give the foreign residence, permanent residence, but this will only give travel.
So if you have,
And
let's say, 12th house, Venus in Taurus in the 12th house, or Saturn in Aquarius in the 9th house, or Mars in Aries in the 7th house. This gives travel.
travel.
Okay.
And combination of these rules in the next step, like whenever 1st and 12th, 12th and 9th, 4th and 12th, 9th and 4th, 6th and 12th, 3rd and 9th, and 12th and 3rd, or the lot of these houses, aspect on these houses, or conjoined or placed in these houses only. This is a combination of residence in the foreign land, depending on the other combination, whether that residence will be a short term or long term. So this will be just giving us the travel, this one, and this will be giving us the residence.
I have so
One
many
of,
of those just in
yes.
my head going.
And you know what about this particular dictums? What happens, we cannot just limit these dictums in terms of traveling only. Whenever they make such kind of relationship with the 11th house or 10th house, people can earn money from abroad. Like you are earning money from all over the world. I'm earning money from all over the world, having the clients from the all over the world. Like that also. So basically, I cannot leave my homeland because of I cannot leave my family alone. But what is happening here, I'm sitting in my home office talking to the foreign clients, okay, and earning from the foreign land all over the world.
It's crazy. I have absolutely all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 of all the combination you've given. I have them. And let me just be clear for those of you who don't understand. In Vedic astrology, to make an aspect, it's if those two planets are in the same sign or if they're opposite each other. This is even if one is at 1 degree Libra, the other 29-degree Aries, they're still making mutual aspects together. So oppositions or conjunctions by sign is the easiest way for you to see. And the more of those combinations you have, the more likely you'll be living abroad. And I've lived for 25 years abroad now. So
And
back.
not just like that, Lada. Like I have few of these combinations. So what is the difference between you and me right now? So I am just talking to the clients of foreign land, but you are famous worldwide. So the more combination gives that kind of fame as well.
Oh.
Okay. And talking about particularly about your horoscope, okay, there is a relationship of fifth house as well. So that's why the fame is coming.
No one knows me in Bulgaria, but by the way, in my country of origin.
And
But
you know what? Same goes with me. No one in my homeland knows that I am an astrologer. They always think that, okay, this is a businessman. So uh, the impact of the 12th house
wow, so you're a hidden astrologer.
of my city. And even if somebody asks me that we get to know something about like that, I say, no, you're mistaken. I am a businessman.
I'm, you see
Because
that
there is,
flag? That's not an astrologer's car.
yeah, because according to my horoscope, I cannot in my own homeland. So I just want to keep myself away in terms of earning from my homeland.
Wow.
And sun in the ascendant, that gives the opportunity to travel abroad, just to travel abroad, in and out. Coming on the eighth house thing, like you were mentioning, when 12th lord or the house is expected by the eighth lord, okay, or the eighth lord is expected by 12th lord, either the house or the lord is expected by 12th lord. That also gives resistance.
I have that one too. And there is not a
You
single
have a home in America. So now
absolutely.
talking about moon and Rahu combination, you are talking
I have that one too.
when Rahu or Lagna Lord in the 12th, 7th, or first house, okay, or making connection with the lot of these houses, that also gives residence. But one thing about the moon, moon doesn't give permanent residence in that case. It will be giving frequent in and out, which is happening with you.
Yeah, I have Moon in the seventh, conjunct Rahu in the seventh,
Yes, yes,
and the Lord, the Lagna Lord,
is in
it's
the ninth,
ascendant Lord. I'm just telling to people that this means ascendant Lord.
ascendant Lord
Yeah.
or rising sign Lord. When Saturn in the fourth, 12th houses, okay, even second at times being family house keeps you away from your family or homeland.
It's exactly the thing I asked you about.
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy.
But other some of the elements should support whether the person will be away from the homeland or the person will be away from the family. Okay, like that. Another thing, third house is the 12th from the fourth house.
Yeah.
And ninth house is the house of long travel. 12th house is the house of losses of foreign land, just completely foreign. Any mutual relationship between these houses or lot represents indication of change in place. Like suppose somebody's third house, third lord in the 12th house and ninth lord is conjoining that in the 12th house. So that combination indicates the person will be definitely leaving his home and going to the foreign land to search for his fortune, the ultimate fortune.
Is that what Papa Kartari yoga is?
Uh, no, I'm not talking about the papetry yet.
Okay, you're talking about something
Okay.
else. Explaining those above combinations.
Yes, yes. Now talking about ascendant, fourth, seventh, ninth, and 10th. Meaning these are the quadrants, okay? And Sorry, these are the coordinates, and this one is a house, ninth house. If house or lots in the Papa Katri means Caesars, sandwich between two malefics. Like this is a horoscope, like something is in the, let's say, ninth lord in seventh. And we have malefics in the sixth house and in the eighth house.
Oh, you're looking the signs before and after.
After, yes. Houses before and after. If they have malefics, that also makes somebody to leave their homeland. But there is a problem with the Papakatri. Whenever person is going away from their homeland because of the Papakatri, they have to struggle in the beginning in the homeland.
Mm-hmm. And the
Two more
Malefica, again, Saturn, Mars, Rahu, and Ketu.
Yes, Saturn, Mars, Rahu, Ketu.
Okay.
One more malefic we are missing.
Sun.
Invisible moon.
Ah, invisible.
Okay.
So if the moon is conjunct the sun pretty much.
Little bit more combinations I want to discuss. This I just simply explained right now. And when 12th Lord plays in the Lagna or in the ninth house, it gives foreign residence. Third Lord plays in the 12th house. Okay.
12th Lord in the ascendant sign or in
Yes.
ninth house? Oh, I have the rule of the 12th in the ninth, foreign residence.
Yes.
My kids have the other one.
Yes.
Okay.
And third Lord plays in the 12th house. Third Lord plays in the 12th house, give detachment from the relatives, and the person lives in foreign country.
Wow.
Okay. Why for you the detachment is not happening? Because the second Lord is with that. So second Lord is kind of pushing for you to stay connected with your family.
Mm-hmm.
Where was I? Okay. Now let's talk about a little bit honeymoon thing. Venus plays in the 12th house. Okay, if it simply plays in the 12th house and well placed benefic aspect in the 12th house, that gives the travel. Okay, like a honeymoon kind of vacation. But if it is an afflicted one, then one has to leave their home and go in the foreign land.
Mm. So one is luxury vacation, Venus
Yes,
in with good aspects. The other one is like go
yes,
find your happiness. You have to, or some other reason. Yeah.
correct. And specifically, like giving you example, we were talking before, uh, somebody having first lord as a Venus in the 12th house. Okay, and they actually need to go away from their land. And what happens until unless they don't leave their land, they will not get success. To success, because what is happening, the horoscope I'm talking, Libra rising, Venus in the 12th house, debilitated Venus,
Venus in Virgo.
aspected by Saturn. Okay, person has to leave their homeland. If they don't, they will be cutting away from their family, even they are living in the homeland. So like that. But if that Venus, simple same Venus, let's say Aries rising and Venus in the 12th house, person will be going again and again just for the vacations.
Just for the pleasure. And yeah.
Yes, happiness. Yes.
Venus in Pisces in the 12th. Happy.
Or Libra Venus,
Yeah.
okay, Taurus Venus, Cancer Venus, they are in the same category. Now, this is a specific dictum. Moon placed in 6th, 8th, 9th, 12th. exalted, meaning of Taurus sign. Then the person lives abroad.
Well, that's my husband, moon in the 8th in Taurus, exalted. He lives.
Yes, abroad.
Why? What's the logic here?
So basically,
These are the travel houses.
yes, travel houses. Or actually, if we just skip this one, these three houses have simply means you are cutting from somewhere. You're having struggle from somewhere. Okay.
6,
And
8, and 12.
moon is somebody who gives satisfaction. So the satisfaction will be coming from cutting some particular place, cutting the roots.
The roots, the moon. But because it's exalted, they enjoy it. They
Enjoy. The
okay.
same thing goes with the Venus thing.
Wow, I'm learning so much. I keep taking photos so I have them on my phone.
Again, ninth lord place in the third house give foreign residence. So actually, you know what happens? We will discuss that in the upcoming thing. Whether the person is living there or person is also building home there. Okay, so that is also a case. So involvement of ninth lord with the other houses can give us a property, or second lord can also, if involved, can give us property in the foreign lands. I can go to the foreign land, but right now I will be living as a tenant. The ultimate goal is that I should get the permanent residency, or I should get some property there. So I have my own location to call it my home. Until unless I don't have a property, I'm just living in some other land. Okay. So that is also something we need to see. It's one thing. Seventh lord in the 12th house, many countries.
Many countries.
Seventh lord in the 12th house, many countries.
Why? How is the seventh lord connected?
So seventh is something which represents marketplace. Libra sign represents the marketplace. If we talk about the ancient traders, they used to go to the multiple places to sell their goods. So that is that combination.
Oh, it makes sense. And have a few different wives in different countries. Like
that
my uncle had the ruler of the seventh house in the 12th house.
before you say something, for that particular combination, they must be having two things, either Mars or Rahu playing in that particular way.
Playing with that, with
Yes. If
somehow
that somehow related, then the people have that kind of stuff. Male. Think about his horoscope.
I
Whether
can't remember, but I remember he had the ruler because when I found out, because I grew up with him, my uncle, he was driving trucks around the whole of Europe, truck driver. Turned out he had another family in another country, the ruler of the seventh and the 12th, another
what
marriage.
was his ascendant?
Oh, I don't remember. I just remember clearly. He was Taurus rising.
And seventh house becomes who?
Mars. Oh my God. But he still was
Vedic.
visiting many countries for sure as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So Vedic astrology is very clear. You said two wives, okay? For men, these are the two things. Simple.
No.
When 12th lord is in the ascendant, okay, and associated with 6th lord or to a 8th house in the affliction, this is person goes to the jail. Many times it happens, person leave their country and go in imprisonment. So you know what the combination will indicate. Suppose a client come to us and say that they want to go to the foreign land. They want to go in different country. So the combination will definitely, this is, or you can say kidnap. Kidnap is the same kind of combination. So combination will indicate, and we can say that yes, you can go to the foreign land. Whether that stay will be a happy stay or not. What kind of stay the person will be having. Okay, that is what we are discussing
So
now.
if the 12th ruler is in the ascendant sign with connections with both 6 and 8, or just one of them is enough?
If both, that indicates imprisonment.
Sorry, if both, it's
That, yeah, because both of them needs to be there.
oh,
Because this indicates legal issues and this indicates bondage.
bondage is the eighth house.
Yes.
In
Yes.
Western astrology, the 12th house is bondage.
Both of them are the bondage, 8th and 12th. So that's why 12th we have already considered. So these are the bonded houses, and 12th house is also kind of represents hospitals and the legal issues. 6th house represents disease and legal issues as well. So all these are playing together because to whom the bondage is happening. Why I specifically mentioned Lagna, ascendant, the first house. Bondage is happening to me, my body.
Ah.
Ascendant is my body.
Otherwise, if the ruler of the 12th has connection with the 6th and 8th, they might have a lot of travels abroad.
Troubles, yes.
Really that there. Okay. Wow, amazing.
So now the quality of the stay. Person can go anywhere they want to, but whether the condition will be favorable or not, or the person will return to their country or not, okay? So that is something which we need to study. And if the person have to have a difficult stay in the foreign land, then why they have to leave the country? Okay. So when we advise somebody, okay, when we advise somebody that they should go in the foreign land, whether they will be having a quality stay or not, we have to look for these kind of combination about that. So I'm considering one divisional chart here, which is called D4 chart, Chatur Amsha, the fourth division of the birth chart, and connecting that chart to the Navamsha, which is the ninth division, D9 chart of the horoscope.
Okay, that's
So
complex. That's complex.
this is complex. This is complex because birth horoscope can show the combinations, whether they will go or not like that. But what kind of quality state they will be having? But can chart can show whether somebody will be working in the foreign land or not, whether what kind of work they will be working. I can come to a foreign land and become a CEO of a company, or I can also work as a janitor of a company. That will be seen from this particular combination. Okay, and how the take the fourth lord of the D4 chart and look that particular fourth lord in the D9 chart. And if that is under malefic influence, the stay will not be happy. And if that is a benefic influence, the stay will be happy. Okay.
So you look at the ruler of the fourth sign in the fourth
D4.
divisional chart,
Yes.
and you see, say it's you have Virgo there, it's Mercury, and you go and check Mercury in your D9 chart.
Yes.
I'm gonna check now.
Check the whether that is under malefic influence or whether that is in a benefic influence.
And by the way, if anyone needs to check the divisional charts, vaultofheavens.com, you have it. You have the divisional charts there. If you can understand them, which is the Lord of the Fourth, you can check.
Or one more thing, condition of the fourth house is also need to be checked. And the coming dasha. Dasha means a period. Condition of fourth house and fourth node in the D4 chart. These two dictums will alone tell us what kind of stay we will be having. Okay. Sometime, you know what we were discussing about the vacation. A couple go on the honeymoon and they are being scammed, losing money. So these are the combination. If that is under high affliction, just spend your vacation in your country where you can get supported by people. Don't uh, go in the other places. Placement of ascendant lord, ninth lord, or 10th lord in the quadrant gives position in the foreign land. So based on the previous slide, we have the combinations to go in the foreign land. Now what we gonna see, what is the placement of first lord, Lagna lord, ascendant lord, second, ninth lord, and the 10th lord. And if they are in the quadrants, okay, then we will get some position.
The angular houses, first,
Yes,
fourth, seventh, or ninth.
10th. Kendra means quadrants, center. If ninth lord is in the seventh house, okay, with seventh lord, the person earns money in the foreign land. Okay, person will be earning money in the foreign land. 12th lord in the first house associated with the sixth lord. Okay, this we have already discussed that person will go to the jail. We will study one particular chart of person who to a particular place and then still in the jail. Let's study some horoscopes. So this is a female horoscope. So this client came to me. She got connected with me in somewhere 2020. And in April 2022, her father passed away. Somewhere in 2021, I asked her that she should leave country, like she was in the IT, and I said, try to go to the Western place. And she said she don't want to go, she can't leave this country like this and that. Why? Because just look at the positions here. Sun in the seventh house, Mercury in the seventh house, being the eighth lord, okay, afflicting Venus here. So what was, and this Venus is combust. So she was divorced and she was looking for a second marriage. So she thought that she can first marry in India, then she will think about going to the abroad. And what I told her, go to the foreign land and you will find somebody there. Okay, I will show you how I catch that thing. But she said no, no. But on April 2022, she lost her father. Then she wanted me to guide her into her life. And I repeated the same thing again that, ma'am, please leave this country and you will stay happy. Then she started trying. And somewhere in the November 2022, she said that she is going to Canada. And without any efforts, no effort. Okay. She is going because of the work. 10th Lord in the 7th house with the 12th Lord with the 8th Lord. Transformation like that. After 6 months, she called me and said that the current project is over. Now the company is calling back to India. I created a horary chart. I checked the dasha of the chart. I said, you are not coming to India. She said, I don't have work. So how I gonna stay? I said, see, I can't give you work there. So you will be staying there. Don't try to mess your thing and thinking about coming India again and going back. You will just mess up the travel expenses.
Yeah.
So her visa validity was somewhere like 15th of some month. I don't remember. I guess 15th of August uh, of 2023, something like that. So on 13th of August, he said that 2 days are left. What to do? I said, I don't know, but you are not coming back. As simple as that. On the night of 14th, she texted me. She's received a project and she's staying.
Oh, wow.
In between, what happened? Because of this combination, seventh lord is being retrograde in the Navamsha, the house of spouse chart. Okay. And
Mhm.
not just that, her, like I said, check the lord of D4 chart and place it in the Navamsha and see if there is any malefic influence. there is no malefic influence at all. Nobody is expecting. No malefic influence. So I know that her stay will be a positive stay. And because this is a retrograde one, okay, and now the relationship will be the second relationship. So we will be seeing the second house of Navamsha. That is exalted Mercury. So the Mercury which was causing trouble here will not cause trouble again. So she will be finding
Because the
somebody.
second marriage is the second house.
Second house. Yeah.
Yeah, second marriage is second house.
So she will be not having trouble. In the meanwhile, she met somebody in the Canada who is Canadian. Okay, not Indian, Canadian. And they are happily dating even now. Okay. So
And
even
the
few
third
months
marriage,
before,
the third marriage would be the ninth house, isn't
ninth
it?
house.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
And what do you count as marriages? What if they have a child but they're not married? Is that a
So
marriage?
according to the Vedic astrology, if somebody is having a child, that will be considered a marriage. Because according to Vedic astrology, the purpose of marriage is to create generation. Okay. The purpose of marriage is not just to have sex. It is to produce children. Okay. And the sex is just a medium.
What if you've lived with someone for 10 years, but you were never married and had children?
That will again be considered as a marriage because you are living together under a roof. Somebody living under the roof romantically more than a year considered as a marriage.
So I must be on the 10th marriage or something. Yeah, okay, four, fifth. Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
if you live under a roof, that's
Yeah.
considered a marriage. So everyone that
Yes.
lives with their boyfriend, girlfriend, even for
For
like
longer period, more
longer
than
than
an
a
year.
year,
More than a
that's
year.
considered a marriage.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Okay, that thank you for telling me that. So the first marriage would be the seventh, or living together for longer than a year. The second such situation would be the second house. The third such situation or marriage would be the ninth house. So you count eight from the
8
ninth
from
house
houses.
is the
Yes.
fourth. Oh, this is so interesting. Okay.
Okay. And few months ago, like 2, 3 months ago, I guess he texted me again.
Sorry?
That 2, 3 months ago, she texted me again. Himanshu, again the project is over and I need to come back again. I said, no, you're not coming back again. So then she texted me after a few days that my company simply said either come back or resign. And I simply said resign, stay in there.
Yeah.
So she said, are you sure? I said, yes. So my clients actually trust me. So she simply resigned. She resigned from there. She got placement in the other company. She's still living in the Canada with her boyfriend. So that is what happens. So this is the horoscope, and she will be living happily.
Amazing.
Same combination. Look at the fourth lord in the third house. Okay,
Yeah, she
so
has
like that.
many of those ones that you gave as an example, 5 or 6 of them.
Yes,
That's why
many
you
of
are
them.
certain she would be abroad and be better off there.
Yes, but look at this moon and Rahu in the 12th house. She is always tensed. She is always tensed. Maybe because of her coming back, maybe because of her family, her mother is living in the India, this and that, like that. One more example, important one. So male native living in Dubai. If we talk about the seventh house here, Mars and Ketu, this person was also having difficult marriage life.
Oh, for sure, Mars and Caitlin the seventh.
Ketu, seventh house. And even if you see here, Mercury being the sixth lord and even the third lord, Rahu is there. Okay. So what was happened? He was having some combinations like 10th lord in the sixth house exalted, and somebody just some astrologer just advised him that he should leave his country, go to some place and call his wife, and they will live happy. Okay. Now, what is happening with him? Many things play out. He go to the Dubai. So we mentioned if first 12th Lord is making a relationship with 12th Lord is making relationship with first house. So 12th Lord is aspecting the first house. Rahu is already there.
Ah, yeah, you said
He
Rahu in the first gives being abroad. Yeah.
okay. Venus and Saturn is having a exchange. Okay. Now what is happening? This moon in the third house is being aspected by 10th aspect of Saturn. Talking about the Saturn seems to be exalted planet here. But what is happening to the Saturn in this Navamsha D9 chart? It is retrograde, sorry, debilitated. So this is not a happy planet at all. This is the most malefic planet of this horoscope. And being the ascendant lord of Navamsha.
The marriage chart.
Yes. So coming back on the quality of the stay, pick up the fourth lord. Check it in the D9 chart. It is in the sixth house, in the water signs, fire planet in the water sign with debilitated Mars.
So it's afflicted.
That Mars is supposed to be the 12th lord of D1 chart. Okay. What happened to him? Meaning the 12th lord of this D1 got debilitated. He is in prison in Dubai.
What?
Even now, the bondage.
So where was it? The ruler, the ascendant ruler. You said the ruler of the 12th should be in the ascendant or aspecting it from the 7th. We have
Yes.
Mars, the ruler of the 12th, in the
Yes.
7th, aspecting directly the ascendant. Mars
Yes.
is with the malefic.
Yeah.
But you said you need to be with the 8th or 12th house.
Yes.
Where is the ruler of the...
So,
it is the
so
8th or 6th house.
So 6th and 8th. So basically what is happening with this particular system, the Kendra, the center of the house of this particular person is acquired by all difficult planets. Saturn, Mars, Ketu, Rahu. And similar thing, the 12th lord is Mars, 6th lord is Venus, and 9th, 8th lord is Jupiter. Okay. If we talk about the position of these planets in these two charts here, okay, that is again causing problem. If you see this and this, so the quality of stay is problematic here. From here, we pick up the quality of stay is questionable. And what kind of difficulties he may get. So the fourth lord is in the sixth house. Either he can have legal issues or he can have health issues.
Oh.
Similar way, what is happening to the lord of 12th of this particular house, even the 12th house is afflicted and the lord of 12th house is afflicted everywhere, here, here, and even here. The lord of the 12th house is afflicted here, here, and here.
Because if you're looking at this chart, it's crazy. He has
Crazy.
Moon, no, but just the natal chart. If you look at the moon in Cancer, Saturn in Libra, Mars in Scorpio, Jupiter in Sagittarius, and you'll be like, wow, this person has 5 planets in their own signs. So he should be like someone very special, but they're not.
And I was sitting with my mentor, okay, and his wife came up and he said, please look at this horoscope. And he simply said, your marriage is under mediation. And she said, yes. And your husband is somebody who has demonic characteristics. She said, yes. And he
Demonic
is
what?
demonic characteristics.
What? Demonic?
Meaning abusive husband.
Ah, okay.
Okay. She said, yes. And third, he said, whether he has been to jail. Because that time he was running from the Mercury period. And on that particular day, he mentioned one thing, my mentor. Whenever somebody goes to a jail, Mercury has to play a role, definitely, whether in the period, sub-period, or sub-sub-period. Whosoever goes to jail, check the charts of the clients you have who have been to jail. They will definitely be having some relationship with the Mercury, either of that particular Dasha Lord when they go to the jail, and they or the Dasha is of the Mercury.
Oh, Mercury, interesting.
Mercury. And yeah.
That
Okay.
sounds like a psychic almost. You looked at the chart, you get have an ability.
He's actually somebody very psychic. Like he's somebody enters to a door and sits in the waiting period and he simply said, remember, Himanshu, look at this client. He has come for this particular purpose.
Wow.
He has enlightened himself with lot of mantras and everything.
Hmm. Because I could never look at the chart like how your husband's going to prison. Is it true?
Yes. And why Mercury can do that? So Mercury gets debilitated in the 12th house. Okay. 12th house is the jail, prison. Somebody who is being afflicted in that particular house can only cause that. So Mercury has to play there. He gave me the reason as well.
Oh, that has logic because the 12th house, the house of Joe, and Mercury feels bad in the 12th sign in Virgo,
Yes.
in Libra, in Pisces, and by connection, the 12th house.
Yeah. Just last chart we will be picking of somebody very famous. Mhm. So what do we think about this horoscope? This is somebody who is very famous. And this person changed many countries. So first of all, let's see what
Any
kind of
relationships, you said?
many countries
Ah,
changed
many.
many countries.
Okay.
So let's see what is happening here. Look at the 10th house. Okay. It has the ruler of the 8th house. It has a ruler of 12th house and ruler of this one. Ruler of 10th in the 12th. What is happening here? Mars is indicating that he will be going to multiple countries. Because remember, like I said, 7th Lord in the 12th house, that is happening in the Navamsha chart. Okay. And he was somebody who was very recognized, very famous. So fame is coming from the 5th Lord, exalted. So he became somebody very famous. And whether this is a quality stay or not, okay, we see Saturn. Saturn is here. No malefic aspect is happening to this Saturn. No malefic aspect at all.
Mm.
So, of course, this is a quality stay. And to check who this person is Albert Einstein. This is Albert Einstein's horoscope.
Yeah. Mhm.
And let me tell you one thing, Lada. What was the formula given by Sir Einstein?
E equals MC squared.
Okay. Energy equal to mass and speed of light. Okay. Why this formula became famous? What combination in the horoscope made that happen?
You can see from a formula how there is okay,
Yes,
you tell me.
everything has a reason. He could have given some formula to for the water, but why? This E is equal to mc square.
Energy.
Energy.
Aries?
Energy. Energy is coming from what planet and house?
I don't know.
Sign.
Aries?
Aries.
Ah,
Lord of Aries. Mars. Mars is the planet of energy, exalted,
okay.
without any affliction,
Mm,
aspected by the own house Lord.
yeah.
Okay, and he changed many countries, and wherever he go, he used to get recognized. Another thing, second Lord in the ninth house, this person can never fail. Second lord in the 10th house, second lord in the 9th house, they always get success.
Second lord in the ninth and
Or 10th
or
or 10th.
second lord in the 10th, they always get success.
Success.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah. And one more dictum I forgot to mention throughout. Whenever we see 9th lord going into the 8th house, that also represents a person have to leave their homeland, at least their home city.
So ninth into the eighth.
Yes.
Ninth lord into the eighth.
So
Because they have some
why?
transformation abroad or what?
Sorry.
Because they have some transformation abroad.
Actually, to activate their success, to activate their luck and fortune, they have to relocate. They have to
To
find their luck at some other place.
Okay, because ninth house is luck. When it goes into the eighth, you have to make some big change to get your luck. Okay.
Yes. So yeah. So this was the combinations we learned about foreign settlement and travel.
Wonderful. I learned so much more, not just traveling.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone that is watching
And
now, thank you for joining as well. But it's a lesson of incredible wisdom. Thank you so much, Himanshu.
thank you. Thank
Again,
you.
if anyone wants to study with Himanshu, but he'll be doing the easy parts of Vedic astrology, the houses, the signs, and the planets in 30 hours, $127 discount. And I'm putting a link below, or if you want a personal reading with Himanshu, he can tell you what kind of formula you would invent.
The area of research.
The area.
Because you know what, some people want to do research and they have multiple things, and research is something they want to explore, or they want their research to get famous. Okay, because this research is just hidden in the papers, that is not worth for them.
Yes.
Okay, so we need to see what is the area, and similarly these kind of things can tell us what business you have to pick. You have 5 different options, same dictum, apply there, and you will get to know what business can give you benefits.
Incredible.
And this is so simple in Einstein's horoscope. Look at Mars in all the horoscope I show you, and in the D10 chart it is even more significant.
Thank you. It's my mind is spinning that you
And
can answer such specific questions.
one more thing about the course, uh, it is not just a recorded course. We will be having live classes, and whosoever will be joining into the course, they will be put into a discussion form. And believe me, discussion form is something which is very efficient, because then you get to know the knowledge sharing of different students. Okay, because in the bigger course we are having a discussion form, and which is live for 24/7. Students are discussing with each other. I put my own input and lot of things. So you will be added to a discussion platform, and lot of things will be happening. Not just astrology, but spiritual stuff as well.
So that's proper mentorship.
Yes.
Thank you for offering this to our viewers, Himanshu. Again, my deepest respect.
Thank
I'm
you.
fascinated by everything you shared with us. People can see the depth of astrology like never before.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you again. Be blessed. And thank you, everyone,
Thank
for
you. Same to you. Bye-bye.